Amara had always lived in luxury. Born into one of the wealthiest families in the city, her life was filled with opulence, charm, and all the best life had to offer. But her world changed drastically when her mother passed away. Her father, a once doting and wise man, remarried within a year to Selina, a woman whose ambitions knew no bounds. Selina, with her poised beauty and sharp tongue, quickly took control of the household, and her influence over Amara's father was undeniable. It wasn't long before Selina's true intentions surfaced. She had no patience for Amara's independence, her dreams, or her heart. One evening at dinner, Selina dropped a bombshell. Amara, it's time for you to settle down. We've arranged for you to marry Ugo Orlando. The announcement left Amara stunned. Ugo was infamous for being a scoundrel, lazy, unambitious, and perpetually in trouble. The city gossiped about his gambling, his debts, and how he squandered the little inheritance he had. He was everything Amara despised. Father, she pleaded, looking at the man who had once cared for her so deeply. You can't be serious. Her father, his eyes distant, merely nodded. It's for the best, Amara, trust me. But Amara knew it wasn't her father's voice speaking, it was Selina's. A wedding took place soon after, a grand event attended by everyone who pretended to care about high society. Amara's heart was heavy beneath the weight of her silken gown, but there was no way out. She was married to Ugo, the useless man, a stranger now bound to her forever. Days after the ceremony, Ugo took Amara to a small run-down house on the outskirts of the city, far from the luxurious mansion she grew up in. There were no servants, no parties, no lavish comforts, just the bare minimum. Amara resented Ugo even more for subjecting her to such a miserable life. She rarely spoke to him, and he, seemingly uninterested in her, left home early every morning, returning late at night without explanation. Every day, her hatred grew. One night, curiosity got the best of her. Ugo had slipped out again, leaving her alone in the dimly lit house. Determined to uncover what he was up to, Amara followed him through the winding streets until they reached an unfamiliar part of the city. She hid in the shadows, her heart racing as she watched him enter a grand stately building with an aura of old-world elegance. A golden sign above the door gleamed faintly in the moonlight. Utobo Enterprises. Amara froze. Utobo Enterprises? Ugo had mentioned once in passing that his family had once owned a large business, but everyone knew that his family had lost their fortune after his mother's death. Her mind swirled with questions. Why was Ugo here? This was no place for a man who was supposedly broke and worthless. Summoning her courage, Amara crept closer and slipped inside, following the trail of voices echoing through the halls. What she found made her breath catch in her throat. Ugo stood in a meeting room filled with sharp-dressed executives, speaking with a commanding presence she had never seen in him before. And the deal with Hillary Holdings will be finalized by the end of the month, Ugo said, his voice calm but authoritative. The others nodded in agreement. Amara's mind raced as the pieces began to fall into place. Ugo was no failure. He was leading his family's business behind the scenes, orchestrating deals with the precision of a master. He had been hiding in plain sight, disguised as a man of no consequence. As the meeting ended, Ugo slipped out of the room, and Amara, trembling with shock, followed him once again. When they were finally alone in a deserted hallway, she stepped out of the shadows. Ugo. He turned, his eyes wide with surprise, then darkened with something she couldn't quite place. Amara, what are you doing here? I should ask you the same thing, she said, her voice shaking. You are not who you said you were. You are running Utobo Enterprises. For a long moment, Ugo simply stared at her. Then with a deep sigh, He ran a hand through his hair. I didn't lie to you, Amara. I just didn't tell you everything. Why? Amara demanded. Why the charade? Why make me believe you were useless? Ugo finished for her, bitterness creeping into his voice. Because that's what I needed people to think. My mother built Utobo Enterprises from the ground up. When she died, the vultures circled. My uncle, her own brother, tried to seize control of the company. Using my reputation as an excuse to undermine me, he convinced everyone I was incompetent and I couldn't handle the business. If I had reviewed my plans too soon, I would have lost everything. Amara stared at him, her anger mixed with confusion. And the marriage? Was that part of the plan too? Ugo's expression softened. No, that wasn't part of the plan. Selina came to my uncle with the idea of marrying you off to a useless man to keep you out of the way. My uncle thought it would be a distraction, but I saw it as an opportunity. I could maintain my cover, but it also meant tying myself to someone I barely knew. For the first time, Amara saw the weight Ugo had been carrying, the double life, the pressure of reclaiming his inheritance and now his complicated marriage. So what now? She asked, her voice quieter. Now, Ugo said, stepping closer. I finished what I started. Utobo Enterprises will be mine again. And after that, he hesitated, looking at her earnestly. I do like the chance to show you who I really am beyond the mask I've been wearing. Amara's heart softened, realizing the depth of the man before her. Perhaps, beneath the layers of deception and resentment, there was a chance for them to build something real if they could both let go of the past. I think, she said slowly, I do like to see that too.